Today we'll be taking a look at my best PSA submission yet. This video title is not clickbait. This is by far my best PSA submission. I must have got a grader who had a really good lunch that day because these grades are amazing. So let's hop right into it. I won't keep you guys waiting. I have revealed these. I revealed these live, but we'll go over them here. You guys won't see them. So I'll kind of talk about what the card is, what I thought it would grade, and then we'll reveal what it actually graded. We'll have the new value pop up on the screen, and then at the end of the video, I'll have what I paid for everything, how much I gained from this grading experience, and why it was my best submission ever. So starting here with this Beedrill, I love this V alternate art. I felt bad selling this, but in order to keep the plays moving, I had to sell one of these. Bought this card raw, it looked good, so I graded it. Take a chance. 3, 2, 1, Gem Mint 10. We started off very good. These V cards are pretty easy to grade. Sword and Shield had a pretty decent Gem Mint 10 rate. So this one's interesting to me because Crown Zenith normally grades well, but you'll see I graded 10 Crown Zenith and they did not grade well. This Pikachu is one of my favorite cards, the secret rare, and it's been going crazy recently. There was nothing on here to indicate, anything. It looked like a pretty good card, but you'll see from the grade it was not a 10. But let me see if you guys see anything, but it looked pretty good to me. But then the grade was 3, 2, 1. The worst grade of my submission is, spoiler alert, an 8. And I'm honestly super surprised about that, because like I said, Crown Zenith is normally pretty good, but must have been either some surface scratching or edge wear that I missed in order for this to get an 8, because everything else was pretty fair. But that one pretty surprising. There's always one surprising one of the bunch, though. No matter how many cards you grade, there's always one. This was one that I just pulled myself, degenerately opening some Crown Zenith, so since I pulled it myself, I thought it looked pretty good. I'd take a shot, but unfortunately, this one got a 9. So again, this one looked pretty good, but as I've always said, 9s and 10s are really a coin flip. You'll see here, my Gem Mint 10 rate was about 67%. When you get down to 9s versus 10s, it really is just a coin flip. And it's funny because I watch people's PSA returns like Oyama's trading and Cool Trainer Ryan, and it's funny to see the juxtaposition of those two. Like Cool Trainer Ryan will just send whatever and gets like a 50% Gem Mint 10 rate and is happy with that. And then Oyama's super meticulous about what he sends. He gets about 80% Gem Mint 10 rate. I'm much closer to Cool Trainer Ryan in that, especially if I pull it myself, I'm just going to send it. I don't really care what it gets. And so I'm happy to get above 50% as well. So it's just funny to see how people approach grading and all that stuff. But this was another one, Crown Zenith, I thought did pretty well. I still love Crown Zenith cards. Even though this got a 9, I still think Crown Zenith is one of those sets that these cards will go crazy after a little while. And people might be sleeping on these a little bit just because they still haven't moved much in a long time. And these cards are super cool. They were fairly easy to pull. I mean, Crown Zenith had super good pull rates, but once people stop opening these packs, these cards will get rarer and rarer, and I think the good ones like this will continue to do well. So my Crown Zenith grading experience was not good this time. Here's another card that I think super undervalued, this Charizard from Obsidian Flames, specifically the gold card. It's only 20 bucks for this card raw. I know it's got the hat, I know it's got pink wings, it's not everyone's favorite, but still a gold Charizard card for only $20 is insane with how popular Charizard is. So these gold cards normally do pretty well, although Obsidian Flames is really hard to grade. I've tried to grade that SIR from Obsidian Flames a bunch of times and I can't get it, but this gold card looked pretty good, so I thought I'd take a shot, but this got a 9 as well. So again, you can't win them all. And I said this was my best return ever, and then when you look at the start, it's a rough start. I've only got one Gem Mint 10, but trust me, it picks up. Starting with this Charmander from 151, these art rares are notoriously difficult to grade as well. And especially the partner Pokemon. These ones do super well, but 3, 2, 1, boom. And you see the prices of some of these. It's just crazy. And that's why this is my best return, I think, because we're booming so much that the prices of these slabs are just going crazy right now, especially in 10s. And when you get 67% 10 rate on cards that are already going up, it just compounds really well. So this card I'm super happy to have. This is one of those where it's tough because I'm not sure if I want to sell it. Charmander's obviously my favorite starter. He's been my boy since day one. And so it's really hard to get rid of this card because I would love to have the whole set of this in a 10, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard. So we'll see if I hold on to this, but at $300, it's more likely I just sell it and try to run the play again. Because if you sell this for $300, you can buy, 3 of these cards again, raw, $50, $50, $50, $150. And kind of do the play over again. So it's just so crazy what some of these cards are doing, but for good reason. These 151 cards are super hard to grade. Speaking of cards that are hard to grade, these special illustration rares always get me tripped up. I'm still trying to collect a set of Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise in a Gem Mint 10. And this one I thought looked good, but I cracked this out of my last submission. I got a 9 on this one and cracked it. Thought that it had the chance to get a 10. But if you look here, one of these corners had the tiniest white dot. Yeah, this one. So I'm not sure if that's what held it up, but I mean, PSA has been pretty particular lately, but 321. So because of that white dot, it did get a 9, which is a little sad to see, but out of the 3 starters, you'll see which one I really wanted to get a 10, and so we'll leave that one here and see how the other 2 did. This Charizard looked amazing. When I bought this thing, I bought it raw off eBay, and it looked so clean. I was like, is this a black label contender? Should I send this to BGS? And I obviously didn't, but I had a really good feeling this would get a 10, and 321. This was one that got upcharged. I actually got 7 upcharges with this submission, which is absolutely crazy, because in the past, I think out of all the submissions I've done in the past 2 years, I'd only been upcharged like 4 times before. So to get upcharged 7 times in this submission, 2 of them were really big ones. This was one of them because it's a $1,000 card now. So they had to upcharge me like, I think it was $50 to grade this card, which is insane. But let's be honest, you're never upset to get an upcharge. That was the big one. This one is one I'll be holding on to, and it's so like, you know, I should be selling this into the hype, and I've been grading these and selling these recently. You know, I sold one with the PSA Vault was no fees, and thought it was cool stuff, selling it for, you know, $600, $700, whatever I got. So now it's kind of backwards that it's $1,000, and I'm thinking about holding on to it. But just with the way these cards are going, I don't want this to get away from me. I don't want this to do something like a Bubble Mew or Umbreon VMAX from Evolving Skies, and I really want this in my collection. So now that I've got this in a 10, I'll be holding on to this. I do have more out for grading and more here to be graded, so I'm going to keep running the play, but I want to at least keep 1 copy of all of these in a 10. And unfortunately, on that note, this thing only got a 9. This one was another one that looked really good on the surface, and I might have even cracked this one and resubmitted it as well. But upon looking at it, there was one tiny little white dot down there, so I think that's what held it up. But again, I absolutely want all of these in Gem Mint 10 together one day, so I will still be running this play. And luckily enough, with this submission, these cards have been doing well enough that I could flip these as 9s if I wanted to and make my money back, but I'll probably just end up holding on to these just because they're so iconic that I think these cards will do very well long term with how popular 151 is. The downside risk to that is 151 has been opened obviously so much that it's just so crazy. So maybe these cards stay stagnant and I'll be regretting holding on to these, but I do want to hold on to some of these for sure going forward, mainly because I like them so much, and that's one of the big things, like invest in, buy in, you know, what you love, what you know, and I love the 151 cards. And speaking of cards that I love from 151, this is definitely my favorite card of 151. And this card looked beautiful, but is so hard to grade. I've seen so many of these cards at card shows and shops and all that stuff, and they all have a little bit of whitening everywhere. But this one was lucky enough to get the 10, and this is a beautiful card. One that I should definitely be selling, but nope, I'm not selling. And it's interesting, again, I mentioned the 50% Gem Mint 10 rate, and that's kind of exactly what you see with the big cards from 151 here. That's just really, in my opinion, how it's been recently, is just that it seems like every card that has a shot at 9 or 10, the grader just flips a coin, and if it comes up on heads, you get a 10. If it comes up on tails, you get a 9. But looking at these two cards, I do see there's a little whitening, so that makes sense, whereas these cards are absolutely perfect. So PSA is definitely getting stricter, but again, if you know what you're sending, if you're pretty particular about what you're sending, you can still do pretty well, and it can still make sense to send to them. So this next card is the card that, if you've been watching the channel, you know I've been grading a ton of these. Unfortunately, I have been grading and selling them. The era that I had been grading into was 2022, 2023, 2024, and those eras were not good for the Pokemon market. So the prevailing wisdom was, if you get a card, you want to sell it off as soon as you can just to get your money back to run the play again. Unfortunately, with this bull market, if I would have held everything, I would have done better, just because of the way all the cards have appreciated in price, which is crazy to think about. I was definitely selling these a little bit too early, but you can't do anything about it now. I still love this card, and we'll probably just sell this raw and then try to do the grade again, but I don't know. This was one I cracked out, and I thought it looked super nice, but then, again, when you're looking at it up close, there is some whitening on it, so one of those things that makes sense once you get it back, but it's like, did PSA cause that whitening? This one's tough. It did get a 9, even though I cracked it out. So the big ones that I cracked out, I think I had a very low success rate on cross-grading those, or upgrading these, I mean. And again, it really does feel like a 50% chance on some of these. This one's interesting to me because of just the way, this is the Pokemon Center stamp, one of these, Team Rocket's Tyranitar. Got this as a free promo from the Pokemon Center. And again, it looked clean enough. I mean, with these ones, it's really hard because they're just thrown in a box. And, you know, it can cause damage and shipping, a lot of whitening. But I was lucky enough to get a Gem Mint 10 on this one. And this was, interestingly enough, one of the ones they upcharged me on. I think they upcharged me from like just $1. But anything over $200, they upcharge you an extra $1. Again, just feels petty. $1 extra, like really? Come on. But I don't know what to do with this card because I don't care about this card at all. Like, it doesn't do anything for me. But the stamps have been going crazy recently and people love their stamps. So it's like, going forward, will this be a card that is sought after because of how scarce it is? Or will it just be simply forgotten because nobody cares about a Little Team Rocket Tyranitar card with Cosmo Hollow when you've got cards like this? So honestly, it's interesting to me. Let me know in the comments what you guys think I should do with this card. I'm leaning towards selling it. In fact, I could just do the play again, but I'll have to take a look, see what the price is on it. Truly, like anything over $200 for a card that I got for free is so hard to pass up. So I'll probably end up selling it, but I don't know. People like those stamp cards. This one, again, Celebrations, you're gonna, the next like 15 cards are Celebrations cards, but I still think these cards are super good, and I think going into the 30th anniversary, you're gonna want to have a bunch of these. So I've been trying to grade as many as I can, specifically for the holiday season, but then as we get towards 30th anniversary as well. So this Mew card here, a beautiful card, Gem Mint 10. I love these Mew cards. I think this is super undervalued. I was picking these up at $30 and they've shot up to about $60, which is amazing. And I already have one of these in my personal collection, so it's easy to sell this one off, which will be nice. And then when I sell that one off, I'll just funnel it into more plays. Same thing. So I want to be buying as many of these Celebrations cards as I can. I think this Mew will do very well as we head into 30th anniversary and all that. So this one, not so lucky. This one got a 9. Again, Celebrations typically grade super well, so I'm really not sure on this one. I might go over this, like that might be something down there in the corner, but I don't know if they're that particular about it. But this one might be one that I practice out cracking. They've got a new slab here, and it's interesting. You know, I've seen some videos of people opening them up on YouTube, but I mean, they feel very secure, and I've heard rumors that it's much harder to break these ones out of their slab, out of their case, than it was the old certs. So I'll have to do some testing. I might try to crack this one out, but at $60 when I paid $30 for it in a 9, if you could make money on a 9, truly should just sell it into the market and then just buy another one, another raw copy, and try to grade it that way. So I might end up doing that, especially with how much this is run. And then this Venusaur here, again, Celebrations, you got a 50% chance you're gonna get a 10, 50% chance you're gonna get a 9. I think if you look at all the Celebrations cards I graded, it's probably a 50% exactly Gem Mint 10 rate, which is so weird to me. This one was not lucky enough. This got a 9, but this will actually be the giveaway card of the video. Normally I've been announcing my giveaways at the beginning of the stream, but people just hop in, hear that I'm doing a giveaway, see it in the first 5 seconds, and then they leave their comment and leave the video, which is bad for my retention rating. So I'm slipping this into the middle, and I didn't mention it in the beginning on purpose, but for those of you that stayed around and are watching, this will be my giveaway card. All you have to do is like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below with what your favorite card was from this submission, and that'll get you entered into win the giveaway. Unfortunately, it has to be US only. I haven't figured out international shipping yet or a way to do that cheaply. So unfortunately, it is US only for now, but I appreciate you guys watching. And if you've been watching my videos, normally I do 1 giveaway per PSA return, and I've got 2 more PSA submissions out at PSA that are waiting to be returned and 2 more submissions to send to them. So I'm going to have a lot of PSA submissions coming up here before the holidays and before the 30th anniversary. I'm trying to build up as much inventory as I can. So be sure to subscribe to my channel and follow along, because there will be plenty of opportunities to win. And I'm a small dude. I don't have many comments, so you actually have very good chances to win these cards if you're one of the few that comment. So I appreciate you guys for watching. That'll give you guys a great chance to win this Venusaur. So again, all you gotta do, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. You'll be entered into it. I will pick the winner in my next video, and I'll actually announce that at the beginning and put your name in the description of my video. I will reach out to you guys, get your mailing. It won't cost you anything, and it'll be free to get that shipped out to you. So I appreciate you guys on that. I will leave this card to the side so that I know it's the giveaway card. This one was lucky enough to get a Gem Mint 10. These ones I love. Again, I'll go through these ones pretty quickly because they're Celebrations cards and you guys know that play. But you know how I like to do these plays, and that is I love to grade the Venusaur, Blastoise, and the Charizard from Celebrations. I grade all of these together and then I sell them as a lot. And actually, even with 9s, I've been making money on these because Celebrations cards are starting to pop off a little bit. So even to get some of these in a 9 is really okay, because I still do sell them in a lot and can break even that way. And when you find cards that you can break even on if you're getting a 9, then it makes so much sense to grade as many of those as you can, because it's so rare that you get 9s on these. So that's why I like the Celebrations play so much, because even in 9s, I can break even with selling these as a lot. So this one makes sense. It's a little bit off-centered, but again, when you look at the stacks right here, it's 50-50 10s to 9s right now with my one lone 8. So then we get into the Charizards. I sent a bunch of these, and these were the ones that got upcharged because they're over 250 bucks now, which is awesome to see. If you've been following this channel, I've been grading these cards for years and years. Started with Catch 'em All Collectibles, got to give him credit. This was always his go-to card. He always mentioned, he would always show the math behind this card and how it makes sense to grade it. And what's crazy is that even as many of these cards have been graded, it still makes sense to run this play. And it's just one of those where Celebrations are such good print quality, because there's only 4 cards in a pack, that all of these cards grade super nice. So even when you're buying them off eBay or TCG Player, you're generally going to have a pretty good statistic of, or a pretty good crop of cards that have a good shot at Gem Mint 10, even if you're just buying them randomly online. So that's really why I love these cards. And even though like this one got a 9, obviously I think that was just centering. The top was super heavy on that, but again, even that in a 9, I'll still break even and make money on that, so that's fine. And then I just run the play all over again. So these have been going crazy, and I'm happy to have 3 Gem Mint 10s out of the 5. Again, anything over 50%, and I'm very happy with that. So honestly, 3 and 2 even makes it nice, because it gives me both 10s and 9s to sell on my eBay. So if someone can't afford the 10s, it's nice to have that option available to them. This ends Reshiram from Journey Together stamp. Again, what do I do with these stamp cards? I don't know. Let me know in the comments, because again, they're cool, but it's just a stamp. Like the other card from the set is so much cheaper, and it's just, you know, it's the same exact art. It just doesn't have the stamp. So because this is the box topper from the enhanced booster boxes, it's worth so much more in a Gem Mint 10. So I don't know. I'll probably end up selling this, but again, let me know in the comments what you think of the stamped cards. Happy to get that in a 10 though. And that one specifically might be another reason to keep this, is this is the first box topper in a long time. So it's just a cool one to have. You know what box topper I'm super excited for though is the Bulbasaur box topper. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna get my hands on any enhanced booster boxes because they're so expensive right now, but Bulbasaur art rare with a stamp will be pretty cool. I will want that card for sure. Lily's Rabambi, I just pulled this myself, thought it had a good chance, looked pretty good. Unfortunately, looking at the pricing of these, it looks like this, there's not much value here in this card, so I'm not sure if Journey Together grades pretty well, which is why that card doesn't have much value, but interesting to see. Brock Scouting, this is a fun one just because it goes with, I have Misty's Determination already, and funny enough, that got a 9 and this got a 9, so I have now Brock and Misty both in a 9. This was one I pulled. I was happy to pull it because, like I said, I love the Gen 1 trainers, obviously, they're my favorite, so happy to have him. Wish it would have been a 10, but the fact that it's 9 is kind of funny because it fits with Misty, who is also a 9, so. And here we got the biggest card of my submission, this Team Rocket's Mewtwo. I love this card. Honestly, this thing has grown on me. When I first saw it, I wasn't a fan of it, but the colors on it are just so nice. I'm a fan, you know, red's my favorite color. So the colors on this just pop off the page, and it looks so nice. And this one is amazing. This card looked beautiful. Another one that sending it in, I thought there was no shot of this getting anything other than a 10 because of how nice it looked. And a fun story on this, my wife actually bought packs back from Boston. She went on a trip up to Boston. She found 3 packs from a Dollar General, showed me a picture of it, and said, should I buy these? Or this that we're looking for? And I'm like, yeah, definitely buy it. And so she, knowing how rare these packs were, Destined Rivals at the time when I first released, went back and bought 3 more packs. So she brought 6 sleeve packs home for us to open when she got back, and this was in one of the packs. And when I say it looked clean, it looked so clean. Crazy Gem Mint 10 on this card. This is one that will stay with me forever because of the story of how she brought home those packs. Mewtwo is a super popular Pokemon, Gen 1, obviously. Such a big hit, such a big story. And what's crazy is this is actually my second Mewtwo that I pulled. I pulled my second one from sleeve blister packs from GameStop. I just went in and bought whatever the limit was. I think it was 5 packs. And I pulled this randomly when I was just sitting here, you know, by myself before stream. So I sold that one off for $370 while it was still high, and then I'll keep this one since that one essentially paid for this one. So awesome to have this card. Nothing more I can say about this card, but I'm super happy to have it. This card and the Charizard makes up $2,000 of the submission, which is insane on its own, but yeah, just an amazing story, amazing cards. I'll be keeping those forever. This Yanma, another one that I pulled and just looked good. Not much value here, but again, when you pull illustration rares and they look good, generally a pretty good idea to send them in. But with Destined Rivals, print quality has been pretty decent recently. I haven't pulled a ton of it, but obviously you see my luck here. 2 for 2 on cards that I pulled and got 10, so pretty decent. These ones are fun. These are illustration cards from the illustration contest. For Alligator, Gen 2 doesn't get enough love. We need a Gen 2 set immediately, like we have with 151 or Black Bolt White Flare. Gen 2 set would go amazing. So these cards, surprisingly, graded super well. So you'll see here, I got, obviously, I sent in 2 sets of these. That one got a 10, the second for Alligator here. This one, unfortunately, did get a 9. I'm not sure if there's something else on this. But what's super interesting about these cards is, I'm not sure if it's just these cards specifically, But if you listen, can you hear that? This card, and I'm not sure if it's like misshapen or a different shape than a traditional Pokemon card, but these cards bounce around these slabs so much, and it's really, really bad. You'll see it, actually, it's all of the illustration contest cards. You can hear it super well, and it's something that's so weird to me. Because PSA's got to get that fixed, because if this was a 10 and it was bouncing up in there, it would eventually get damaged enough that it obviously wouldn't be a 10 anymore, but it's still graded by them as a 10, so what would they do in that situation? I'm not sure, but it's a real issue for them. This one, the Pikachu, obviously my favorite card and the most expensive. This one was lucky enough to get a Gem Mint 10. So I'm not sure if these were packaged super well or if the Gem Mint 10 rate is just that good, but I had super good luck with grading all these, and I love this card. I'll probably sell one just to recoup the cost, and I might look to see how much they are raw to see if I can just keep doing the play, but I definitely want to be holding one of these long term. I love these illustration contest cards, and especially if you can get a popular Pokemon like that. That just screams no-brainer to me, but again, because it's so new and right out the gate, I might want to sell one of these off while they're super hot, but I don't know. I mean, it's super unique art, and with a Pokemon like Pikachu, I mean, it could make sense to hold on to that. But again, you've got to pay for these submissions somehow. You can't hold on to everything, so. Toxtricity, probably the least favorite of my illustration contest cards, but lucky enough to get a 10. And it's interesting too, because like I like the fact that they made this an EX. It's just a little bit cooler, but listen to that. So it's not a 10 anymore. It's so silly. It's crazy to me. Buy the card, not the grade, people. But like I was saying, it's cool that they did EX cards on this. It would be incredible to see if next year's illustration contest they allow like art rare cards and stuff like that, because there could be some really cool arts on this. But unfortunately, this just makes it like a normal EX card, which is just okay. And that's why the price on that is so low. And then the last 9 cards was a sequential set, or last 10, because I think there's a Pikachu, of the Unagaba cards. And these, I'm lucky enough to get Gem Mint 10 on everything. So super happy to have a sequential set of those, because this looks super nice. And so the story with this is that I sold off a sequential set of these for probably $900, and then I ended up buying all these cards raw. I bought 2 sets of them. So I sold off a lot of these as Gem Mint 10. I think I sold it for $900 or something like that to someone. And what I did with the proceeds is I bought 2 sets of these. One that I would send off for grading to try to run the play again, but then one because I wanted these cards. But for me personally, these cards look super nice in a binder together on one page. And so that's where I have mine. I actually have mine all in a binder page like this, and it looks so nice together. So I chose the best, I had 2. I looked at them both. I chose the best cards to send off for grading, and then I just kept the worst copies in my binder. So I have a full set of these just in my binder, and then I just keep running this grading play because it makes sense. And this one I was even lucky enough to get a Pikachu on top of it. The one I had sold before did not have a Pikachu, but like I said, I used the proceeds to buy a full lot from someone in Japan, 2 full lots of someone from Japan, including the Pikachu. So that was amazing to get this in Gem Mint 10, because this will be going on my eBay. Easy to sell because I already have these cards. And for me personally, this set is just one that looks so much better. I mean, this would look cool if I had a spot to display it and all that stuff, but I just don't have much space to display some of this stuff. So for me personally, it just works in a binder together. So that's how I've been handling that. And like I said, you've got to do some of these plays to sell off to fund some of the cards that you want to keep. So the stuff like Celebrations cards, I'll be selling all those. Unagabas, I'll be keeping all those, so that I can hold back some of the 151 cards. But, you're not going into debt to fund all these. I mean, to get all these back was like $1,000. So you got to pay to at least upkeep that. And then that's not even counting the cost of all these cards. So to keep the ball moving, you got to be willing to let some of this stuff go. And that's why I preach selling into this market as well as buying some stuff at the same time. So overall, when you look at the submission, even, normally if you get a high submission Gem Mint 10 rate, you sent a lot of Japanese cards, and this, we only sent those 10 cards, and yet look at our stacks here. So these are the 10s all the way up here. All of these cards got a 10. You'll see the breakdown. I'll pop it up on screen. But it was a 67% Gem Mint 10 rate, and only 1 card got less than a 9, and that was an 8, which is crazy because normally you get one of those crazy cards that gets a 6 from something on this card that, your grader sees that you didn't see. But amazing submission. So you see the numbers on screen, but all of these cards cost $2,368, and that's not what I paid for it. That's actually what the price is today. So that's not even accounting, like I probably paid less. All of these cards have gone up in value just based on the fact that the Pokemon market is doing what it's doing. So $2,300 for raw cost, plus $1,000 to grade, and that includes shipping back to me and everything like that. So that means I'm into these for about $3,000, but the graded price on all these, $7,304 for all these cards. That's a come up of almost $4,000, $3,900 before fees. And you know, you're gonna have fees if you would have sold them raw anyway. So looking at that profit at or before fees is a fair way to do it. And that is by far the highest profit as a pure dollar perspective. Normally I'm looking about like 40% gain before fees, and then after fees, like a 25 to 30% margin is where I'm comfortable being. I anticipate, you know, $3,000 profit after the fees, and you know, my cost to grade was only $3,000. So this was easily my best submission that I've ever had, and even without the Charizard and the Mewtwo, there's still plenty of profit to sell off to make back my cost of grading and kind of keep the play going. So that's kind of my thought. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you if you stuck with me this long. I know this was a long one, but it was my best submission, so I had to brag a little bit. I had to drag it on a little bit. You'll see the numbers on screen. I appreciate you guys watching. Again, to enter the giveaway, all you gotta do is be subscribed to the channel, leave a like on this video, leave a comment below, and that'll get you entered into the giveaway. I appreciate you guys watching. Check out one of my other videos over there. I hope you guys have a great day. And the cat says bye. Have a great day. Peace.